2017 Town Board meeting. Please rise for a pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Felicia, roll call.
Jeff Renahan, First Ward.
Bill Carlos, Second Ward.
Joe Conti, Third Ward.
Joseph Lepore, Fifth Ward.
Ann Church, Sixth Ward.
Felicia Salvatore, Town Clerk.
Jim Nelson, attorney for the town.
John Baisley, Town Supervisor. Welcome all. And for tonight's agenda, we start off with 7 public hearings. And public hearing 1's a public utility zoning amendment. 2 is Greystone zoning map amendment. 3 is communication tower zoning amendment. 4 is zoning definitions amendment. 5 is tax exemption for solar wind farm amendment. 6, taxi cab for vehicle for hire amendment. 7 is town code amendment, chapter 105 fees. And we'll start with public hearing number 1, which is a public hearing on public utility zoning amendment. I make a motion to suspend the rules.
I'll second.
To open this public hearing. Second?
I do.
Aye. Is there anybody here to discuss public hearing number 1, public utility structures? If not, we have a motion to close this public hearing?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Being enacted that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie pursuant to a public hearing held on May 17, 2017 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rock Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, does hereby adopt an amendment to the Town Code Chapter 210, specifically Section 210-96, entitled Public Utility Structures, and be it further enacted that the amendments are attached hereto and incorporated herein, and the Town Board does hereby waive a verbatim reading of said amendments and does direct that said amendments to be spread across the record as if it, in fact, had been written verbatim, and be it further enacted that the Town Board has previously declared its intent to act as a lead agency under New York State Environmental Quality Review Act and does declare that said action to be an unlisted action under New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, and be it further enacted that the Town Board has reviewed the short form environmental assessment form, EAF, prepared by the Director of Municipal Development, and hereby determines that 1, the adoption of the herein zoning amendment would not have a significant adverse effect on the environment, and 2, a draft environmental impact statement will not be required for the reasons set forth in the attached determination of no significance, and 3, a negative declaration is hereby issued. And be it further enacted that a written recommendation was received from the Dutchess County Department of Plan and Economic Development, received May 11, 2017, stating that the proposed amendment was a matter of local concern with comments, and be further enacted that the written recommendation dated April 24, 2017 was received from the Town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board, in which said board recommended adoption of the herein amendment, and be it further enacted that the town clerk notified the clerks of the surrounding municipalities of the public hearing pursuant to GML 239NN, and be it further enacted that the legal notice of public hearing was posted on April 28, 2017, and published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on May 3, 2017, and be it further enacted that said local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays. Motion passes 7-0. Public hearing number 2 is Greystone zoning map amendment for 34, 36, and 42 Violet Avenue. Make a motion to suspend the rules for public hearing and open public hearing on Greystone.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody here to discuss the Greystone public hearing on Violet Avenue, 34, 36, and 42 Violet Avenue?
Other than the applicants.
Okay, Mr. Olson, would you like to say something?
So Richard Olson with McCabe and Mack for Greystone. We have Richard Swanson, who's the Assistant Executive Director. As we had said at the committee, the whole meeting, What we are doing, we're seeking to have an amendment from the IH zone to the RM zone. The current proposal would be for the conversion of what was the administrative offices at 36 Violet Avenue into 6 one-bedroom room apartments for individuals who are served by Greystone, who are able to function on their own without 24-hour supervision. We also own an adjacent building, which we would like to include in it, possibly for future use the same way. Right now, there's a day habilitation program, and the adjoining property owner, Mrs. Higgins, had also asked to be included in it, which we did. She has a single-family residence there.
Any questions this one?
I met with Mr. Swanson. We looked at the property. I don't have a problem with this zoning.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, gentlemen. Would anybody else like to address the board on this issue? Come right up, sir. Have a seat.
Gentlemen,
Yep.
just let this gentleman.
You let him scoot right in there.
My name is Martin Masuda. We own 24 Violet Avenue. I have no objection. I think it's a great idea. However, if I'm deciding to work on at my body shop at like 9 o'clock at night, hopefully nobody will complain. I've talked to both of them, and they've said there's not going to be a problem. I just want people to know that we're there. We do work late at times, but I think it's a great idea.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And I don't think you'll be
Thank you.
concerned. I don't think it's a concern.
Nobody else? Motion to close this public hearing?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Carlos?
Resolution 2, be it enacted, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie held a duly noticed public hearing on the 17th day of May 2017 at 7 p.m. at the Town of Poughkeepsie Town Hall, 1 over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, to amend the Town Code, Chapter 210, Article 3, specifically Section 21011, which amendment proposes to change the zoning designation of 34, 36, and 42 Violet Avenue, Poughkeepsie, New York, tax parcel numbers 616210467608 and 474616 and 460601, as outlined in the attached amendment, should be changed from heavy industrial IH district to residence multifamily RM district for the project known as Greystone Programs, Inc. Be it further enacted that the Town Board has previously declared intent to act as lead agency, and the action to amend the zoning map is an unlisted action under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act. And be it further enacted that the Town Board has reviewed the short form environmental assessment form, EAF, prepared by the Director of Municipal Development, and hereby determines that 1. The adoption of herein zoning amendment would not have a significant adverse effect on the environment, and 2. A draft environmental impact statement will not be required for the reasons set forth in Part 2 of the EAF. A negative declaration is hereby issued, and be it further enacted that a written recommendation dated May 8, 2017 was received from the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development, and said recommendation stated that the adoption of the herein zoning amendment is a matter of local concern. And be it further enacted that a written recommendation dated April 24, 2017 was received from the Town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board, in which said board recommended adoption of the herein zoning amendment. And be it further enacted that the town clerk notify the clerks of the surrounding municipalities of the public hearing pursuant to General Municipal Law 239NN, and be it further enacted that the legal notice of a public hearing was posted on April 28, 2017, and published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on May 3, 2017. And be it further enacted that said local laws shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you, gentlemen. Public hearing number 3 is tower zoning amendment for cell towers. It's basically about the height, the maximum 2 times for a cell tower. A motion to open up this public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody here to discuss the cell tower? Mr. Armstrong.
I don't know if I have anything to say about the particular project that you may be talking about, but in the news a few days ago, there was a community, and I don't remember where, that the poles, the street poles themselves, these companies were putting some kind of units on the poles, to do with the cell phones and all that kind of stuff, and the people were very concerned about the health hazards because of the wavelengths or whatever that go out of this. I hope that this kind of stuff is making sure that it doesn't open a broad market to where they start throwing these things up all over the place in the neighborhoods and everywhere else, so they have much better connections or whatever they intend to do with them. But that community was pretty upset with what had happened, and nobody evidently knew that it was going to happen or whatever. So I just hope that these cell phone towers are looked at very closely as to where they're going, what they're doing, like you said, the height and what they look like. And some of these outfits look like they want to go crazy with this stuff. That's all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Anybody else like to comment on the cell phone communication tower zoning amendment? If not, make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Conti.
Be it enacted that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie pursuant to public hearing held on May 17th, 2017 at 7 PM at the town hall, town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, does hereby adopt an amendment to the town code chapter 210, specifically section 21063 entitled Communication Towers and Radio Stations. And be it further enacted that the amendments are attached hereto and incorporated herein, and the town board does hereby waive a verbatim reading of said amendments and does direct that said amendments be spread across the record as if it in fact had been read verbatim. And be it further enacted that the town board had previously declared its intent to act as lead agency under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, and does declare that said action to be an unlisted action under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, seeker. And be it further enacted that the town board has reviewed the short form environmental assessment form, EAF, prepared by the Director of Municipal Development, and hereby determines that 1, the adoption of the herein zoning amendment would not have a significant adverse effect on the environment. 2, a draft environmental impact statement will not be required for reasons set forth in the attached determination of no significance. And 3, a negative declaration is hereby issued. And be it further enacted that a written recommendation from the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Economic Development was received May 11th, 2017, stating that the proposed amendment was a matter of local concern. And be it further enacted that a written recommendation dated April 24th, 2017 was received from the Town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board, in which said board recommended adoption of the herein amendments. And be it further enacted that the town clerk notified the clerks of surrounding municipalities of the public hearing pursuant to GML 239NN. And be it further enacted that the legal notice of public hearing was posted on April 28th, 2017, and published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on May 3rd, 2017. And be it further enacted that said local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Public hearing number 4, zoning definition amendments. These are some different definitions that we have in here that they're just changing to make sure they're defined better. So zoning does have issues trying to explain them to the residents sometimes when they call. Motion to suspend the rules and open up the public hearing number 4.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is anybody here to discuss public hearing number 4? Nobody, motion to close public hearing number 4.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Savone.
Be it enacted, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie pursuant to a public hearing held on May 17th, 2017 at 7 PM at the town hall, town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rocky Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, does hereby adopt an amendment to the town code chapter 210, specifically 210-9 entitled definitions. And be it further enacted that the amendments are hereto attached and incorporated herein, and the town board does hereby waive a verbatim reading of said amendments and does direct that said amendments be spread across the record as if in fact had been read verbatim. And be it further enacted that the town board has previously declared its intent to act as lead agency under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act and does declare that said action to be an unlisted action under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, seeker. And be it further enacted that the town board has reviewed the short form environmental assessment form prepared by Director of Municipal Development and hereby determines that 1, the adoption of the herein zoning amendment would not have a significant adverse effect on the environment, and 2, a draft environmental impact statement will not be required for the reasons set forth in the attached determination of no significance, and 3, a negative declaration is hereby issued. And be it further enacted that a written recommendation of Dutchess County Department of Planning and Economic Development was received on May 11, 2017, stating that the proposed amendment was a matter of local concern with comments. And be it further enacted that a written recommendation dated April 24, 2017 was received from the Town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board in which said board recommended adoption of the herein amendments. And be it further enacted that the town clerk notified the clerks of the surrounding municipalities of the public hearing pursuant to GML 239NN. And be it further enacted that a legal notice of public hearing was posted on April 28, 2017, and published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on May 3, 2017. And be it further enacted that said local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. So moved.
Second.
A motion and second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Public hearing number 5 is tax exemption for solar and wind farms. We make a motion to reopen this public hearing and suspend the rules.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there anybody that would like, Doreen, like to discuss this public hearing?
I'd like to say that I am in favor of the town passing a local law to opt out of these tax breaks. You know, so many times I hear municipalities complain about unfunded mandates and that they have no control and they're being told what to do. Well, this is giving you the opportunity to take control, and you can opt out. Also, you know, they already get 15 years of state tax breaks, and the rest of us are paying for those breaks. Solar farms don't provide any job growth, so I'm all in favor of the town passing this law. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody else like to discuss the solar farm, wind farms? If not, I know some of the board members still have a question. I'd like to adjourn this to the second meeting in June because we still have some answers.
Yeah, I spoke with Mr. Wilson, and he needs to do some more research on this, and he asked that we adjourn it. He didn't set a specific date. He said adjourn it and we can bring it back up. We're not under a timeline.
Mr. Nelson?
Are you going to adjourn the public hearing to a
Yes.
date certain?
Yes.
Or do you want to close the public hearing?
No, I want to adjourn it, so if there's any changes, the public has a chance.
To a time and date when Mr. Wilson can come back.
You probably want a date certain?
Yeah,
Otherwise, we have
I
to.
talked to Neil, and he said
want to have a date.
second meeting in June. What's that, Felicia?
Okay.
Is it 21st?
No.
Probably make it
probably
count.
like the-
Yeah, I think it
That
is.
sounds right.
Yeah, it's 21st?
First?
Yeah, I'd like to adjourn this public hearing to
June 21st.
21st.
Oh, yeah.
All those in favor?
I'll second that.
Aye.
And aye.
Motion passes.
Resolution number 5.
Nope.
We don't-
You don't have
Have
to
a
read it.
public hearing.
Nope, you don't have to read it.
We're going to adjourn it, so we'll read it.
You don't have to read it. Yep. Public hearing number 6.
6.
Town Code Amendment, Chapter 198, Taxi Cabs and For Hire Vehicles. Motion to suspend rules and open public hearing number 6, Taxi Cabs and For Hire Vehicles.
Second.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey, is there anybody here to discuss taxi cabs and vehicles for hire? If not, can I have a motion to close public hearing number 6?
Second?
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr.
Before you
Lepore.
proceed, I just wanted to, if I might, mention that the numeration of some of the final articles in this have been changed since it was first presented to you. It's just to make sure that everything stays in proper order.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Resolution number 6. Be enacted that the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie, persuade to a public hearing held on May 17, 2017 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Overrocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, does hereby adopt an amendment to Town Code Chapter 198 entitled Vehicles for Hire to taxi cabs and for hires vehicles to amend Section 198-1 through 198-32 and add a new Article Number 2 for hire vehicles, and be further enacted that the proposed amendments attached to year 2 incorporated herein with the language to be added being underscored and language to be deleted being stricken, and the Town Board does hereby waive a verbatim reading the said amendments and does direct and said amendments to spread across the record as they in fact has been read verbatim. And be further enacted that the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie, has determined that this action is a Type 2 action, requiring no environmental review, and be further enacted that the local notice of public hearing was posted on May 8, 2017, and published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on May 10, 2017, and be further enacted that this said local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions on this one?
Oh, pardon me. I'm sorry. There was one additional change. It's in section 19816. It was.
I marked everybody's with a little tab so they can go right to.
Okay.
Green
so
tag.
Maybe you can just open the tab and you can read the language about first-time registration, 10 years and 200,000 miles. And it was recommended by Mel Rossetti, and the city chamberlain, I think, has told us that that's what the city did. Is that correct? Thank you.
It's a good change.
Okay, well, it's making a safe vehicle, so that's fine.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Is it 6-0 or would that be 7?
7-0.
7-0.
7-0, Felicia.
Just wanted to clarify.
Somebody was sleeping. Me.
That's okay.
Public hearing number 7, Town Code Amendment, Chapter 105, Fees, 105-4U, Chapter 198. Make a motion to suspend the rules, open public hearing number 7. on
Second.
fees. All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody here to discuss public hearing number 7 related to fees for the vehicle for hire? This is just basically all in line with the resolution we just passed. Marlene, are you coming to speak? Okay, you're welcome. Is there anybody here to speak on the taxi cab fees? If not, motion to close public hearing?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any questions on that one?
Be enacted that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie, pursuant to a public hearing held on May 17th, 2017, at 7 p.m. at Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, does hereby adopt a local law amending the Town Code, Chapter 105, entitled Fees, specifically 105-4U, relating to vehicles for hire, and be further enacted that the amendment are attached hereto and incorporated herein, and the town board does hereby waive a verbatim reading of said amendments and does direct that said amendments be spread across the record as if they, in fact, have been read verbatim, and be further enacted that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie has determined this action is a type 2 action requiring no environmental review, and be further enacted that the legal notice of public hearing was posted on May 8th, 2017, and published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on May 10th, 2017, and be further enacted that said local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. So moved.
Second.
We have motion second. Any question on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. That brings us to the end of our public hearings for tonight. We have a rather small agenda. Number 8 is waive and approve the permit fees for Holy Trinity Church to hold a spring festival June 1st to 3rd. Number 9, approve Arlington Business District Taste of Arlington to be held. It's to approve and waive the fees on that. Number 10 is set a date for a public hearing on unsafe building, 31 DeRocher Terrace. Number 11, set a date for a public hearing on unsafe building, 59 Oakdale Avenue. 12, authorize the retention of a secret consultant for New Hamburg. 13, secret lead agency, Underhill Solar LLC, Oakwood Commons, Homewood Suites. 14, authorize a budget transfer from the police department. 15, accept the retirement of Joanne Pickles from the assessing department. 16, approve the Mid-Hudson Roadrunners Club McDonald's Cruise Run to be held on June 3rd, 2017. 17, approve New Hamburg Engine Company 1's 100th Anniversary Mardi Gras Parade to be held on June 3rd, 2017. 18, the following claims to be referred to legal: Gilio versus Town, Bryhoff Jr. versus the Town. Make a motion to suspend the rules for any item on the agenda?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody here who would like to discuss anything on the agenda? Doreen?
I have a question on agenda item number 12, the hiring of the seeker consultant. So was that something that was ordered as a result of the settlement for Bottini?
No, we're just part of the paperwork going through. We have to do seeker, and we just want to make sure we get it right.
Okay, so this,
Yeah, so ordered, no, but it's part of what we have to do.
okay. And then agenda item number 13 about the seeker lead agency. Before you give up your lead agency status, I'd just like to make a comment. The Underhill Solar Farm, I was looking at the environmental assessment form. They're removing 23 acres of forest. for this. And, I can see putting solar panels on roofs, maybe on, commercial and residential. If there's already, open space, it doesn't have trees, but I'm really concerned about the proliferation of solar farms and cutting the trees. The one at the Oakwood Friends School, they cut 2 acres of trees for that. So, again, solar, yes, has its benefits, but you're removing trees, and which helps cut down on noise reduction. It helps for temperature, helps for control stormwater. And to tell you the truth, I have not seen any real concern by the planning board over the years for tree preservation. So just wanted to make you aware that Underhill will be cutting 23 acres of forest for this. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Doreen. Is there anybody else who would like to address any item on the agenda? If not, motion to resume the rules.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Who was it, Mark?
Yep.
Be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby waive all permit fees relating to Holy Trinity Church Spring Festival at 775 Main Street, Poughkeepsie, New York, on June 1st through June 4th, 2017, pursuant to request from the Church of the Holy Trinity dated April 25th, 2017, a copy of which is attached. Be it further resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application of Holy Trinity Church to hold a spring festival at 775 Main Street on June 1st through June 4th, 2017, contingent upon the receipt by the town of a certificate of liability insurance naming the Town of Poughkeepsie as an additional insured. Be it further resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive the open container law in the event alcoholic beverages are to be served, with all other state laws remaining in full force and effect. So moved.
Second?
Motion and second. Any question on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Bob here today?
Okay, whereas the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie has heretofore received an application from Robert Legacy of the Arlington Business Improvement District for its Taste of Arlington event to be held on Saturday, June 3rd, 2017, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the Vassar Alumni House lawn. And whereas Vassar College, the owner of the property, has given their permission for the event to be held on their property, now therefore be resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive all permit fees relating to the Taste of Arlington event pursuant to a request received by Robert Legacy, a copy of which is attached. And be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application as submitted for said event to be held on Saturday, June 3rd, 2017, between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. at the Vassar Alumni House lawn, College Avenue, Poughkeepsie, New York, contingent upon receipt by the town of certificate of liability insurance, naming Town of Poughkeepsie as an additional insured. So move.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
10. Whereas the Building Department of the Town of Poughkeepsie has, pursuant to Town Code 71 Sub 5, submitted an unsafe building investigation report dated May 2nd, 2017, to the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie regarding 31 DeRocher Terrace, Town of Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, State of New York, tax grid number 6262-03-315003, hereinafter the premise. The owner of record being Christina Stolzaki, 21108 Northeast 42nd Street, Mamarish, Washington, 98074, that the premises and the building on it have suffered significant fire damage due to a fire which occurred in December of 2015, are dangerous and unsafe to the general public, open at the doorways and windows, accessible to a haven for vagrants, trespassers, crime suspects, and illegal activity, and that they are unsanitary and present a health, fire, and public health hazard. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive a verbatim reading of the attached investigative report, and does hereby adopt said report and directs that they be spread across the record as if they in fact had been read verbatim. And be it further resolved that a public hearing on the order and notice, including the recovery, levy, and collection of town expenses as an ad valorem levy, will be held by before the town board on June 7th, 2017, at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall of the Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rock Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on this one?
Yeah, I do. I want to thank Neil and thank Wayne and Tim for going through on this. I had written an email to Neil about a month ago and just got a response from the resident next door who was complaining about it, saying what was going on with it, and I had reached out to him and contacted Neil again. Now I see this here, so I want to thank everybody for their efforts. I don't know if you had a chance to see those pictures.
Yes.
You can see it is a tough condition building, a house, I'm sorry, and I'm thankful for them to go through the steps. I'm appreciative.
Joe, thanks for following up on that.
Yep.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Whereas the building department of the town of Poughkeepsie has pursuant to Town Code Section 71-5 submitted unsafe building investigation report dated May 9th, 2017 to the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie regarding 59 Oakdale Avenue, town of Poughkeepsie, county of Dutchess, state of New York, tax grid number 6162-10-373608. The premises, the owner of record being Avis Bishop, 59 Oakdale Avenue, Poughkeepsie, New York, 12601, showing that the retaining wall and pool and its enclosure on said premises are dangerous and unsafe to the general public, and they are unsanitary, present a health and public health hazard. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive a verbatim reading of the attached investigation report, and does hereby adopt said report and directs that they be spread across the record as if they in fact had been read verbatim. And be it further resolved that a public hearing on the order and notice, including the recovery, levy, and collection of town expenses as an ad valorem levy, will be held before the town board on June 7th, 2017 at 7 p.m. at the town hall, town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. So moved.
Second.
A second, any questions on this one?
Yeah, we've been working on this for a number of years now, and it's just unfortunate that the resident owner didn't want to fix anything over there, so we're moving forward, we're doing the right thing, so.
They've been chasing this one down for a while.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolved, the town board, town of Poughkeepsie is hereby retain Richard J. Pearson, P.E., P.T.O.E. of John Meyer Consulting, P.C., 120 Bedford Road, Armonk, New York, 10504, to provide seeker consulting services regarding truck weight, length, noise, signage, and related issues in New Hamburg area at an hourly rate of $215 for Richard J. Pearson, P.E., P.T.O.E., and as such other rates set forth in an annexed rate schedule as may be applicable, not to exceed $5,000 without further town board consent, plus reasonable disbursements and expenses, and on terms otherwise acceptable to town supervisor and attorney to the town. And be it further resolved that the town board further finds that based on Mr. Pearson's experience working on traffic matters in and for the town of Poughkeepsie, that this would not be the best interest of the town to solicit alternative proposals or quotations for such service. And be it further resolved that contracting Mr. Pearson involves ongoing town administration and is a type 2 action requiring no secret review. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on this one? Nope. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be resolved, the town board, town of Poughkeepsie does hereby consent to the town of Poughkeepsie planning board acting as seeker lead agency. Notice of intent paperwork can be found in the town clerk's office for the project known as Underhill Solar LLC, aka Cypress Creek Renewable LLC, site plan 130 and 122 Underhill Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. X parcel number 6262-01-270535 and 180545. So moved.
Second.
Motion is second on this one. Any questions on this one?
I would like to just piggyback off of Doreen, if you don't mind, Doreen. I would like to make a motion that we add an amendment to this, that the planning board look at the amount of trees that need to be taken down and examine that, all right? So we're not taking down more
second that
trees
motion.
that need to be taken down for a project.
We have a motion on what was changed. Is there a second?
I seconded it.
We have a motion on the resolution.
Aye.
In a second.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved, the town board of town of Poughkeepsie does hereby consent to the town of Poughkeepsie planning board acting as the seeker lead agency. Notice of intent paperwork can be found in the town clerk's office for the project known as Oakwood Commons, Homewood Suites, site plan South Road, Lot 1 of Oakwood Commons, Poughkeepsie, New York, tax parcel number 6060-04-928489. So moved.
Second.
A motion and second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0. Be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby modify the 2017 budget pursuant to the attached budgetary transfer request form submitted by the Comptroller to allow the purchase of new vests for the Police Department as follows. From B 909 fund balance, $17,079.29 to B 3120-0209 protective vest, $17,079.29. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any question on this one?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Number 15, be resolved that the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept with regrets the retirement of Joanne Pickles from the Town of Poughkeepsie Assessor's Office, effective end of business day, May 31st, 2017. So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions on this one?
I'll just thank her for her service. Just going to be missed.
Joanne was good. I mean, she worked in different departments over the years, and it definitely was a pleasure working with her, and her wealth of knowledge will be missed. It's a small office down there, and I know Kathy will have a hard time filling her shoes down there. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution 16, be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie has heretofore received an application from Irvin M. Miller on behalf of the Mid-Hudson Roadrunners Club to hold the annual Joseph McDonald Bill Cruz Memorial Run to be held on Saturday, June 3rd, 2017, and be further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application for said annual run as submitted pending receipt of a certificate of liability insurance naming the Town of Poughkeepsie as an additional insured. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions on this one? Nope. The only one is, Jeff, just so you know, this is the one that runs through and runs down through New Hamburg, and being that bridge is out, they stated they will have a crew there to direct traffic at the bridge so it doesn't cause any conflicts with that light down there that time of day.
Okay.
They'll have somebody directing traffic down there.
And the certificate of liability insurance is now attached.
It has been received.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0.
Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie has heretofore received an application from our own Jeffrey Renahan on behalf of the New Hamburg Engine Company, number 1, to hold a 100th anniversary Mardi Gras parade on June 3rd, 2017 at 12 p.m., which parade route is outlined on the attached documentation. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application for said parade, and that the town clerk is in receipt of a certificate of liability insurance naming the Town of Poughkeepsie as an additional insured. So moved.
Second.
The motion and a second. Any questions on this one?
Yeah, I just want to know, just so you know, I'm the chief there, that's why I filed it there. Excuse me. And like I said, it's a big history for New Hamburg. It's, like I said, celebrating its 100th anniversary of an all-volunteer organization. It's opened up to the public to come down. I know it's Arlington Day as well, so it's a busy day. But it's open to the public afterwards. They're going to have an event after, like I said, at the firehouse, and I think I'll just have to abstain from the vote, that's all.
There's going to be none of the typical Mardi Gras New Orleans style.
A little bit, a little bit.
Well, we should probably watch the liability. No,
That'll be good.
I'm just kidding.
Will there be food down there?
Food, yep.
Yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Passes 6 with 1 abstention.
And then 18 is just a notification for a couple of claims that have been referred to legal. I think that's it.
We've come to the end of our board meeting. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for any town item to be discussed at all.
I'll second.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody like to address the board? Doreen?
So in February of 2015, I had come before the board and talked about this and had an exchange with Councilman Safone, who was supportive of this. It was about Fairview Commons, and they wanted to remove trees before the final site plans were signed. And I was against that. And I forgot what year it was, but I think it could have been like 2005. The town board at the time had passed a law saying that no trees could be cut on a project site until the final site plans were signed by the planning board chairman. And that was because Chestnut Plaza, they had come in and
Clear cut everything, right.
clear cut and whatever. So anyway, when it came time for Fairview Commons, I had an issue with that, and Councilman Zafone had said, he agreed with me and he would push for the law to be honored, and they did not cut trees until the site plan was signed. Well, now, just recently, I saw that the planning board gave permission for several projects to cut trees before the final site plans were signed. And I'd like to know how it is that the planning board can grant relief from Town Code 210-151H. It says the site owner or applicant shall not commence any site preparation, including but not limited to tree removal, removal of soil, grading, stockpiling of soil or other construction material until the final site plan has been endorsed by the planning board chairman. The two projects were SPAC and Partners, which is the old Building 5 for IBM, and the other one is a project at 33 Arlington Avenue. Now, why they claim they had to hurry up and cut them because they were facing deadlines because of the Indiana bat habitat and the limitations on tree cutting, I have issues with that. I mean, especially SPAC and Partners, this project's been going on for years now, and all of a sudden they needed to do it, but it's not clear to me where in the code it allows the planning board to provide that relief. I didn't see anything in there that says the planning board is allowed to waive this. So how does that happen?
Doreen, I don't know. I will look into it further. I know we had a short discussion about it.
Right.
I will get back to you on it.
Okay, and like I said, the planning board has not shown, as far as I'm concerned, much concern about tree removal. And this is not just tree removal. I mean, they're not supposed to do any of these things. Tree removal, removal of soil, grading, stockpiling. By letting them do this, I mean, they let one do it, now another one. So again, now that, sets a precedent and the planning board thinks it's, okay. So I would like an answer on that if possible.
Get to you in a couple of days.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else that would like to address the board? With nobody else, I'll make a motion to resume the rules.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks for coming tonight. Anybody needs a signature, didn't get a signature, just come up and see one of the board members and they'll sign for you. Thank you.